Hello and welcome to another episode of Under the Floorboard with my co-host Sean Spalding. Nice top. And we're here with the absolute legend, Steve Clark.
Oh, thank you very much.
Beat up with that one. What an introduction. How are things? What are you up to?
Good, mate, good.
Tell us about yourself. You come...
Just back from Dubai.
I'm going to say you come from Dunfermline, must be famous for Dunfermline Athletic. Carnegie. You come from Dunfermline, didn't you?
Yeah, aye.
And now Steve Clark.
You see me switching off when it comes to football chat.
Just no involved in that at all.
Well, Andy Carnegie, it's all right to be associated with him.
Oh yeah, didn't I read somewhere that he would have been the richest man in the world now if he was even alive, like adjusted for inflation.
I read this thing that said that he gave away, I think it's 7 times more than Richard Branson and like 2 other of these people put together.
It's insane.
Confident.
So-
And there's a museum in there.
For you then, tell us about property investment. Obviously, you do property investments, developments, mentorships, do your own podcast as well with Nick Ponte. Loads going on, but tell us about you. Like, what was it?
Property slag, mate.
Property
Property slag.
There's worse slags to be fair.
Well, no.
Talking about do you remember your first asset? Like, how did that come about? Like, what made you get into? 'Cause you were offshore, weren't you, before that?
Yeah, I always wanted to get any property, like from I don't know, it was like this weird fucking obsession with it when I was younger. Obsessed with property, obsessed with like adding up numbers and working out, oh, somebody rents that out and what would a mortgage be and just weird stuff like for a teenager. So at the minute I could get on the property ladder was the goal. And I remember I was a second year apprentice with an engineering firm and I was only on £4.36 an hour. And the gaffer said to me, because I used to like, can you pull that? Can you run that cable there? Or can you do this? And I'm like, what? You hate to move all that shit out of the way and get a cherry picker on it and get a risk assessment and it'd take 6 hours. I can do that in 3 minutes. Watch this, and I'd climb up a girder and come over, and he would be like, the gaffer was obviously like, fucking old school, this is cool. I tell you what, can you come in every Saturday and the overtime me? Because when there's nobody about and there's no bosses, we can get loads done. And I'm like, absolutely. So as soon as I add up, I was like, oh, by the way, it's time and a half or double time if you do 12 hours on a Saturday. So as soon as he guaranteed me, I just added up and I'm like, that's £380 a month I'm going to get now. I was like, I'm getting a property, and that was all I thought.
Right?
I was like, I'm getting a mortgage. So I started looking for like wee 1-bedroom flats around Inverkeithing, Dunfermline, Rosyth, even as fucking far as High Valleyfield, which if anybody knows that area, is no one area to buy in. Like,
No.
not at all. I don't even think they've had capital. I mean, when was that? That was 2006. There's probably had no capital appreciation since then. So I got a 1-bedroom flat, but I creatively managed to finance it in a way. And I mean, the portfolio I've kind of built it with minimal money, and I always kind of stand by that. You don't need money to get involved in property. You can be creative as you like with negotiating the right deal and finding the money.
Funny we just said that way. The last Matt, who was just on there, he said about the biggest misconcept, or people believe that you either need money or you don't need money. It's like there's somewhere in the middle. There is money needed, but it doesn't always need to be yours.
It doesn't need to be yours.
So
What
the first
age
one
were you then, Steve?
I was 20, just turning 21, I think.
Oof.
20, aye. And I remember going to the mortgage broker, and I'm sure the property, off the top of my head, is somewhere like valued at 62, and I got it for 58. And I remember the mortgage broker, it was obviously 2006 that are responsible either, but because you've negotiated a 5% discount or whatever it was, you don't need your 5% deposit. And I'm like, fucking bingo, eh?
Here we go.
I was like,
Oh,
what?
100%.
So I'm buying on £4.36 an hour, which I can hardly even afford. I'm just getting my overtime to pay for this fucking thing. And I'd have to put none in. Aye. So it was like the very first one, 2006, I managed to buy with none. And I was like,
That's brilliant.
right, here we go. This is it. This is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm going to become this property mogul. Here we fucking go. Renovated that one. And then pulled, I remember looking at going at the Bank of Scotland to try and get a loan and try to figure out how I can get the deposit together for the next one and stuff. And it was, your property price index on the computer, and the lassie goes to me, she goes, your properties went up 18 grand in the last year you've had it, or 9 months, and I've done a renovation and everything, I've stripped out, and my mate's that apprentice joiner, my brother's an apprentice Sparky, like, let's pull everybody together and let's just see if we can figure out how fuck to put this back together. So I lived on a building site with it, but I wanted to get money together to go and get another one, and my brother was turning 21, so I was like, we'll go to Ibiza for a wee week as well. And so obviously as soon as I seen that, I'm like, what, so I can take money out this property that I've not paid a penny today, I've just renovated it, fucking win. So I got 11 grand back out, And then 2008 bought a 3-bedroom ex-council house, and then what happened in 2008? So I'm over leveraged to fuck.
You're right up here. You're like, oh shit.
And I'm like, yes, 22, 23. I've got 2 properties under my belt. This is it. I'm fucking going to be flying. And then comes tumbling down. I mean, the 3-bed house was offers over 99 grand, and I paid 112.5 to secure it because that's what you had to do at the time to secure the property at that price. So I'm overpaid, and something that's already over leveraged, and then I've over leveraged the flat, and I'm like, shit, this isn't worked out then. So I didn't really.
I need heavy renters quickly.
I didn't start very well in property, that's for sure.
So how did that transition from like how did you go and get like the podcast and everything out? No, wouldn't have been podcast back then, but like resources to help you learn. Let's not how to do this. Fucking like let's not overpay. Like what's that kind of mentality?
Did you look up YouTube or did you go on courses? I think that's what you're asking.
I was trying to word the question, but
we're fucking 2008, mate. There was no YouTube.
That's what I was trying to go back. Like, was there a thing as a course back then, or a book or YouTube or whatever? But I couldn't remember when it was invented.
There wasn't.
Encyclopedia.
You're making me sound old.
I know. I can feel old.
Did you read the Bible to get this?
There was no room at the inns. Oh, nice. How much did they charge rent for that?
Was that HMO you were running there, Jesus?
Nice. There wasn't. And for that was 2006, and I only really learnt that there was a commute or there's something around. I think in 2015 I was on a rig on West Africa off the Ivory Coast, and some Irish guy came to me and he says, "You into property?" And I portfolio maybe 10 at the time, and I'd flipped a good few. And he says, I'm into property. And he says, "You read what's the one that pin the magazine that they do every month?
Property investment.
Property investment. Aye." She gave me a copy of that, and I'm like, oh, what? There's case studies and folk do this, and he's got a £3 million, he's got a £6 million portfolio. Then you go to the back, and it's like, oh, there's they're networking event in Edinburgh, and there's a networking event in Glasgow. I'm like, holy fuck, there's people that actually invest in property seriously. Like this is a fucking.
Just played it small, you think?
This is hidden. Like, property at the end of the day, property is like this. Got this old white middle-aged man, money like behind them that won't tell the young person how to do it. They'll keep it themselves, and no one really knows when you don't come up.
He's
for
like
it.
the layer, didn't he? And he's like, I've got this bit here. And
how did you get that? So at that time, there was nothing there. There was no courses. There was no, I suppose, social media to show people what they're up to and what they're doing. So it was very lonely, and it was. I always say the first 10 years was like that lesson, the life of like hard knocks, like constant mistakes, constant fuck ups, like almost going bankrupt, like just constantly making an arse of it and going fuck, and then you start realising, I'll learn that, I'll fix that, I won't do this mistake, I'll make that better, I'll negotiate that a little bit better, I'll make sure I factor in that cost, and slowly getting better at it, and then obviously then discovered that there's people out there that are actually doing it, and
I can learn from them as well. And then that kind of when you're building that 10, like if you can remember back, like what was probably the biggest mistake apart from overpaying? Like what was the biggest? You think, fuck, I should not have. I should have seen that coming. How you learn for that?
Everything. Like so naive. Like everyone just thinks because they can buy a property, rent a property, they fucking know they can figure it out. But there's so much shit that trips you up and fucks you up in property. And if you don't know, you don't know, and you just make the mistake. I remember I was coming back. I was working through in Bellshill, Neil Healy, actually, and I was stuck in traffic on the M8, and I went on future property auctions. And I was like, "There's a 3-bed house in Logelly for 50 grand." It's a fucking cracker. Like that's worth 85, 90 grand. All right, so I phone up future property auction. I'm getting next minute. They're on the phone going, "Aye, no bother. They'll take 50 grand." I'm like, right, scrambling about for the credit card. There's the 5% deposit. Paid. Right, cool. I'm due the 45 grand in my 28 days completion. And I go to my mortgage broker a couple of days later, and he's like, "That's still the frame, non-standard construction." I'm like, "What's that?"
What is that?
Like,
It's just a house, what you talking
it's a house. It's a flat roof. What? It was everything you could fucking no get mortgage on.
Chinese
This is
takeaway.
no good. And I'm like, what? So then I'm obviously scrambling about trying to get a mortgage, and then you end up phoning like Future saying, "Look, I can't complete on this. Like, I can't get a mortgage." And they're like, "Well, what's the alternative?" And I'm like, "How maybe 25? Well, you can forfeit your 5 grand plus your fee, or you can declare yourself bankrupt because you're due the 45 grand. You're in contract." And I'm like, what? Like, fuck hell. So you make mistakes all the time, and now you look at it and you're like, fuck, is it above a hot food takeaway? Is it standard construction? Is it less than 30 square metres? Like, you know what the lenders want, but you only get that through experience or somebody fucking telling you. Unfortunately, back then, nobody was telling me, or nobody was out there that I didn't know how anyone in my network that had property or was in business or I could tap into. Like, it was just something I kept to myself and didn't tell anyone. But mate, I could rattle off so many mistakes.
And I take it you do courses and stuff, right?
Aye.
And I take it on courses, you're like, right.
Here's the
focus.
one not to do.
Focus.
Here's what not to do.
You're like, if there's one thing you can learn today, write all this shit down because I'm about to tell you stuff that I done.
But it's funny because I just put 3 flips in the market and you're still making mistakes because there's always something. Each one's got a wee. Oh fuck! I forgot about that. Shit! I never really knew that. I got someone at the phone a couple of days ago. There, another one. I mean, I'm now almost 20 years into property. You think that you'll have seen it, done it.
Mitigate.
Nah, mate. There's fucking. I've got an offer accepted on a house I'm going to use as an SAN stroke holiday let, depending on if the tax man's listening. And I needed a bat survey to pass planning. Planning's now lapsed. Get the architect in, resubmit a planning, delayed the process of concluding. Then they come back and says, no, we're forcing you to conclude because you've been under an offer for 2 or 3 months of the usual. Pay a $5,000 non-refundable deposit and you need to complete in 4 weeks. And I'm like, right, okay, planning's going to get approved. Let's just go ahead with it. It's like, I want it, it's in, it stacks up, it's fine, let's just fucking do it. Paid the $5,000 and literally 2 hours later, architect phones me and goes, we're not going to be like planning yet. I was like, what? He goes, well, the bat survey was carried out. The bats are in nesting and they finish nesting in August and they don't start nesting again until April. So you can't get a bat survey done until April. I'm like, you're fucking joking. So I'm going to have to buy this in 3 weeks' time and sit and wait until April before I can even do
Wait till
anything.
the bus leave.
I'm like, when did... Who I need to put that in the fucking course now.
Aye.
Like, there's so much... How you couldn't put everything in the course, possibly,
Nah.
to mitigate
There's
everything.
always going to be something that comes up and so many changes that happen as well. But fucking bats doing it a planning, by the way.
Mate,
That's...
I mean, I've had bats before and I knew there was an issue getting rid of them when I had one to sell. So I knew there was a slight issue, but I never understood about the nesting part. So now I'm like, oh, well, that's a fucking bat nesting to the encyclopedia that's in there. You're like...
Just go through your viewing checklist. Have you got bats?
Aye.
My mate's got one in the north of Scotland, the exact same problem, and he's had to build tunnels for hamsters.
No way.
What?
Right? Because
For hamsters? You mean rats?
No, he's got bats above in these wee tunnels. Because if he doesn't build them, the hamsters or whatever they are.
Hamsters are like pets. Or,
What are you talking about,
like a rodent.
like
or
ferrets,
not
ferrets,
Aye,
or...
and you've got to build something. Or he says because it's a rare species of one in the north of Scotland.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? You love rats.
I fucking hate it. With the bat thing, I would have fixed that alternatively differently, and I'm glad we're not recording this.
Oh.
Flamethrower.
I'd have went like any scary animal.
They're no there.
They moved out.
They're no there.
Squatters' rights.
Just
So-
things like that. You're like, oh fuck. How did I get that?
But as you say, there's no any day. Eventually, you'll write a book, right? And you'll be like that. Rule 1,
There you go.
right? Don't buy steel. Don't buy flat roof. Don't buy above a
That's
takeaway.
what the course is, his book. So how did that transition then? Like where do you go from doing it yourself, keeping it to yourself, to then going, because obviously help professionals and it's like create the life you desire, isn't it? So, or create the life you want or something like that.
Yeah, just like I found there was a
Maybe that
niche,
flip.
like, and when I wanted to go and learn and go and discover it, obviously 10 years into it, like I went on Paul McFadden's very first protege, and you know, like his was very much tailored to sourcing and trading and not keeping. And then I went into English, you know, courses and learned some more
HMOs
about
mostly
fucking
and stuff,
HMOs and finance, and it was like lease options, and I'm like, there's nothing fucking here that's really specific to Scotland that scales a portfolio. Because at the end of the day, I mean, as much as sourcing's a great addition to a property business, and you know, it's fine, but I don't want to create another job for myself.
Yeah.
You know, at some point I want to go, the assets in the background, the debt's paid off, and I'll just decide when I want to decide to go, enough's enough. I'm quitting it. Or I can, you know, you've got it. Whereas if you just trade, there's no assets, there's no wealth creation there, is there? So I felt there's a niche for giving to people that what I wanted to start out with. What do you want to do? How do you want to build a portfolio? You've not really got any money, but you think it's for the rich, right? How do we change the narratives? But I mean, that's went through. I probably did it to piss people off to start with as well, because obviously you started joining like the PIN group and stuff, and like Nick and I had just started the podcast. I think it was like December 2019, and you know, people would just like slate the training, and I'm like the training's fucking good. Like, you don't know what you don't know. Go and learn how to do it. If somebody can fast track you 10 years of mistakes or 4 years of mistakes, fucking pay for it. It's a few grand. Pay for it. It'll cost you it'll make you exponentially money more. But you get all these old hats fucking sitting on these Facebook pages going, I'll just take you for a coffee. Well, how much are you going to be able to tell me in a fucking coffee chat?
An hour's meeting.
Like an hour's meeting for free that I've got no like skin in it, the value in it to make sure you are successful and do something. It's almost like, I didn't go to a mortgage broker. I'll come and tell you to get a mortgage. Like everyone's got a service and everyone's got a skill set. And I felt like folk were doing it because we're so negative that, oh, how can he teach about property? Like, he's putting it, if somebody can present all that information and put it into a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, 5-day course, that takes a lot of fucking work and a lot of effort, and you need to be able to, how do you teach it? I've taught martial arts since I was 16, 17, so I've got a teaching ability as well. How do you teach it? How do you get it? How do people learn? How do people take information, retain information, take action? Like, there's a lot to go with it. It's not just, oh, I'll teach you property, I can buy property, and it's like, oh, fucking
It's like we were talking earlier, wasn't it? I was just going to say, we were talking earlier with Matt and stuff, and he never went on courses, and he probably, the way he was talking, was regretting it. Yeah. Because you were saying, people will tell you, oh, by the way, don't do this, do this. Mm-hmm. And that's the answer. Or you learn it yourself and you fuck up yourself. Yeah. And then you go, oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think you should always be doing courses. I think you should always be doing
learning. I think one of the big motivation was, I looked at, so as you're trying to grow your property portfolio and market yourself and build the personal brand, a lot of what people will reach out to you online was asking about property. Like, so I remember sitting down and I'm like, how am I was more productive in a full-time job running a mixed martial arts gym, competing in martial arts, flipping properties. Like, I was doing 20 hours a week, and I'm more productive in my property business then than I am now full-time. And I started going, what am I spending my time on? And then you start breaking it down, and you start fucking, like, how many hours do I spend on that? How many hours do I spend on that? And you look to going, well, I'm trying to raise finance through social media, and I'm trying to grow this personal brand to attract money and joint ventures and opportunities and all this stuff. But actually, I've spent 16 hours this week just replying to people's Instagram messages or Facebook messages on, yeah, mate, if you actually get this and you work out this number and you do that and you do that, and I'm like, there's a desire for that. And then you would help people out by sitting and having the coffee with them and the people that are in your team, your architects, your stuff, and then they would go and offer a closing day on the same property as you, and I'm like, well, I've just done that for free, and I've got value and I've got a skill set to pass on. But then the final tipping point that got me over the hump of, fuck it, I'm going to do it, and fuck what everybody thinks was COVID. Everyone starts talking about the mortgage holidays, and if folk can get mortgage holidays and we can get rent holidays, and I'm thinking, I've just built this income based on rental income, and for this exact moment, the world goes into fucking lockdown, and everyone needs to pay their housing, and the government's saying we can go on holidays, and I'm thinking, fuck, if I've got no income coming in, like, I can't flip properties, I can't put them on the market, I can't trade any. And now I can't get my rental income coming in. I was like, there's a wee bit of panic sitting in there, like thinking, is this going to go tits up? So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do a workshop. And it's evolved from there. It was a couple of days and thinking, how the hell am I going to speak about property for 2 days to, it's now 4 days, it needs to be 5 days, because we go run over 9 to 5 every day, and we run over every day. Can I shut me up when I start talking about property, as you've just discovered?
No, but it's good, because people should be like soaking it up, you know. Everybody needs to be like, don't ask anything, just fucking write everything down and just go for it.
I just make it really informal, like obviously you do, just through mistakes, through lessons learned. Like, here's the framework, here's what we're going to go through step by step, but make it so informal and people relax that they can ask questions, because some people really don't understand numbers. Or they might struggle with that, or they might struggle with the negotiations part and how to speak to people and how to get the best price or the best solution for the property. So it's just taking the time and making sure that everybody understands what you're going in, how to implement it.
You were talking about that. I went on a course, right, and the guy, it was while not how, right? Mm-hmm. And before it, about 6 months before it, a guy had said to me, so what is all these steps I need to do to get this property? And I goes, oh, let me tell you. I told him everything, and then I phoned him up and I says, do you want to do it? He goes, no need. I'll do it myself with you. You've just told me everything. I'm a prick. I swear to God, and I was like, right, that's fucking it. It needs to be, I can get this for you, but I'm not going to explain every single breakdown step, because what's the point?
Aye. That's your value, that's your skill set. You've developed the knowledge, you've paid for your education, you've done it through the years of hard knocks. It's a value to you. But people don't think you can charge for that. I'm like, I don't fucking charge for that.
They can only find out when they get money out of it, when you take them on the course, and then they make money out of it, and they go, right, it was worth it. Because we've all done courses, you make money.
There's an ROI to that course. Like, you can go on it and just go get information and do nothing, which I'm sure a lot of people do. But if you want to go and take action from it, you're building that for them, because you're not, like, say, you're not going to cover every the 5 days, even at that. You cover foundational stuff, then you'll how to build on that. But you're never ever going to come across
every single
fucking bit you can do.
He's not going to be like paying for a course and getting fuck all out.
No, definitely not.
I'm a safe money. I
want an ROI. What am I getting out of it? How am I getting? Can I make this money back, and how quickly can I make this money back?
I'm the same.
That's because I had in mind. Like, I didn't have the 5 or 6 at the time, to go and pay it. So I've done it on a credit card.
I remember
I
you
can
telling
do it. It's interest free. I can do the monthly payment, and I'll get a return from it. Whether it's one source deal to just pay that off, I've done it. I'll get a return on it. So it's just kind of like, I've not got the money now, but I will get the money. I'll pay it, and it'll build onto bigger things.
It expands on who you are as a person as well, though. Like if you invest in yourself, like the other guy last week that came on it was 21, and I'm like, fucking wow. Like just wow.
21, man.
If you've got that ability to when I met him 7 or 8 months ago, he didn't have the money for it. And it's a few grand. I says, look, tell you what do you want on the one? Here's the ones that are coming up to the year. So I'll take the one at the end of the year. Can I pay it up? Aye, because you've asked me to. Like you fucking like in property, we need to find a solution. I don't have the money. How do I find it? I don't have that few grand for the course. How do I find it? Can I pay it up for the next 6 months? Absolutely, mate. Fucking go for it. But to see him on that, investing in himself, I was like, wow.
it's brilliant. You want to be him, don't you?
I do. I'm just like, can I fast forward that? Like, fucking, if somebody had just had that at 21 when I bought my first property, here, do you know what? Spend 4 days with me. I'll teach you all the fuck ups I've made. This is the way to do it right.
That's crazy how that kind of went full circle with you being that age, knowing fuck all, just dipping your toe in, going full throttle with it, no education, to then teaching somebody else in that position as well, going, here's what I done when I was your age, and don't do this.
Don't fucking make this mistake.
That's good.
But you can see that he's not on it. He's already fast tracking it. But then from him, the other guy that gets sent across from him was a teacher that's been teaching for, I think he's maybe 30, well, he's 40, 80, was been teaching for 22, 24 years. He's like, I'm teaching people in a system that's broken, that's not fit for purpose, and to try and be sheep. He's like, I want out of this. So why am I fucking the fraud that's teaching them how to comply with society? So he was very much, he wasn't old. But then you look at the goals and aspirations in property, and you're like, fuck man, you've got time on your hands. You can piss about. Like, he's like, oh, I want 20 properties before I'm 30. I'm like, that's actually really fucking easy. Like, you don't have to put that much work in.
I know.
But if you want the same 20 properties at 48, you need to put in a whole lot of graft because you've not got time on your hands. And you need to get that, get the acquisitions acquired. And then if you've got a debt consolidation, you want to pay down some debt, you need to start figuring that out now.
Quickly.
Whereas this boy at 21, I'm like, wow. Like,
I went
not
to
that I
my
would say it would
son's-
take his time.
I went to my son's parents' evening not that long ago, and I was asking all the kids, and we're going to ask this question of you, but but I think you've probably answered it. What do you want to do when you're older? Right, we were asking all the kids, and I went to my son, and he's like, be rich. And I was like, but what do you want to do? He's like, I'm not that bothered.
Just rich.
I want to have money. I'm like, and we were all like football player or whatever we wanted to be. But they're like, I don't care. I'm not bothered. Well, a football player would get me lots of money. Aye. That's what I'm going to
do that then.
I'm like, wee dick.
You didn't want to be a football player then? You're not interested in all that.
No.
What did you? Property.
What did I want to do
When you're younger?
I knew it was property. And I never knew, I
Don't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was. I just knew it had to be property at some way, shape or form. My granddad died at 62 and I was 15, 16. And I do remember this being a bit of a trigger point because you're picking your exams for staying on at school and all that shit. And I'm pretty, I don't know if for the same as you guys, but if you had half a brain cell, they just tried to force you to go to university. And if you were thick, it was like go and get an apprenticeship. But I wish that wasn't the case then, because and then my dad and me are going, well, nobody's been to university, and I'm trying to be an engineer in the oil and gas industry, and all these young guys are getting fast tracked me, go to university. So you're getting pushed in that route, and I'm like,
Aye.
wow, I didn't see the point. So it was like, I always wanted to go in the Royal Marines, was if I wanted to do anything. And I got signed up with the Royal Marines, decided to go to university to appease my dad and fucking everybody else around you. When I changed my mind to go to the Marines, I went in the Royal Marine Reserves. So at the same time as going to university, I was doing Wednesday nights down in Dundee, and then going on the weekend fucking away with the Marines constantly. Try to juggle everything, but it was ultimately I just wanted to get money, because I remember even looking at the perspective for the Royal Marines, and I'd look at the officers, and then I'd look at all your ranked, and it was like brigadier. After like a 36-year service in the military, you might make 72 grand a year. I'm like, what?
Aye.
That's shit. Like what? And I looking at that age, going, it's going to take a long time to make that kind of money. Then I started looking at engineering, like, my dad's offshore now, and guessing the same. Some of the boys I knew that went away offshore and got apprenticeships, and they've got money. So that might be the fast track of going in. So I end up just fucking tweaking again.
Follow the money kind of thing.
Follow the money to get in. But it was interesting what you said as well about what Matt had says, you either need money or you don't need money, but you need some money on the side. And even when I started to chase the money from the oil and gas to go, right, I'm going to go offshore to chase it, I had this plan. It was like, I think Kelly was maybe pregnant with Maya, and I was like, I'm going to fast track this portfolio. If I go into the subsea, I'll double my money, and I'll live the same lifestyle, and I'll bank, half the salary, and I'll get 1-2 properties a year, do it for 10 years, says we've got my extra 20 properties, I'm out. And I remember having this conversation with Sam a couple of years ago when we bought, I think it was when we bought the 39. And I said, what did you do when you went offshore? I think you'd done a couple of trips offshore and I always slag him for fucking, you've never been offshore. Like, you ran to do fucking
For about 10 minutes.
clean. You
They
got
were
run
for
right
a
half.
shite.
Run half. And we were talking about it and he says, I just wanted to go offshore and make some money and then buy a property. And I said, what aspirations? And he was like, it's like a 10-year period to buy 10 properties, one a year. And I said, that's funny, I had a similar aspirations, but it's funny how your mindset changes when you understand assets and leverage.
You can do
and
so much more.
And you're looking at how much properties did we buy in the last 6 months? And he looks at his spreadsheet as Sam does, and he's like, 54 in the last 6 months. But that's mental. 54 properties in 6 months, but we both wanted to get 10 properties in a 10-year period, sacrificing half our lives offshore in a dangerous environment. I was like, that's weird, the way the mindset can shift to what is actually possible in property.
And what is it are you chasing money or assets now then? Or what is it you want?
Always assets. Always assets, yeah.
Is that what you want to look back 20
Yeah.
years and you go, I own all these? Or
Yeah. I've never been, I can never ever do like maybe it's why I'm not very good at business, like forecast projection or making money. I've never really been one for chasing the money. It's if I make the money, I'm putting in an asset. I make the money, I'm going to buy an asset where I put in my stocks and shares or, I've never. Yeah, I've never
to
been
what
one for-
end? What point is there a number? You go, when I get to that number, I'm going to stop and I'm going to get myself a license jumping out of planes and shit like
Funny
that.
enough, you look at that, you go down that rabbit hole as well. I don't know. I think because I got asked this in the networking event up in Aberdeen about a year and a half ago, like, when's enough, and I just decided to stop buying then. But it's more of because like a debt consolidation strategy the last year and a half since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only got Maya. I'm not having any more kids, so I've got one kid. Like, if the legacy's for her and the lifestyle, then I don't need any more really. So I think that's where like the twist and the focus into the business is and get maybe more quality assets and sell off the shite, keeping less ones but better quality ones. Giving her a better inheritance, so to speak, rather than here's 140 grand shite hole flats with junkies in it. Deal with that
Half
shite.
of them don't pay it.
Aye, they're on the DSS that, but you know what I mean? Or here's 50 assets that are all quality,
Solid.
fucking 4-bed houses or whatever assets you want to collect. I think replacing them with better assets as the debt strategy goes down, or you're paying off some debt. And
I think the other thing is because of the way you're wired, the second you stop, you'll kill her the next day. Do you know what I mean? You're like, it's almost like you're running.
back.
I think that's what the drive is to their businesses, like the TIW, this is property and stuff like that. It's like, I need to do something and look it back and try to help someone and like have a bit of purpose in something now. It's like I need that purpose, that drive to do something constantly, or I'll just be fucking, I don't know.
How did you, when was the transition to go from single units to, can you do like massive portfolios now, don't you? Like, is it just portfolios you do now? You
Yeah,
still do
aye.
singles? What was it? Was that just to ramp up between you and Sam, or?
Yeah, it was when I partnered with Sam. We kind of got a bit of a formula because there's a lot of stuff that I'm weak at, and there's a hell of a lot of stuff he's weak at, and both of us kind of skill sets almost complement each other. So I said, well, look, I've got my portfolio there, he's got his portfolio. So partnering together, I just want somebody to raise finance, do all the paperwork, organise the portfolio, raise the bridging loans, put in the refinancing straight away. I'll go in about and speak to people and get to know people and negotiate deals, manage the refurb. So the skill set is very much worked. And then when it was working and you were starting to get the portfolios and the tired landlords coming in and negotiating them, it's like, look, we can buy it. And then obviously the ADS started to ramp up from 3% to 4% to 6%.
Yeah.
So you're like, fuck this, I'm not paying this on every single unit. Not averse to paying tax, but a fair amount of tax.
Aye, well.
Look at the camera when you say that, would you?
What's do you teach like on the course? Obviously, don't want to take content for the course, but like, so you're talking about single lets. Like, what's the kind of difference you would look at going from evaluating a single let unit to a portfolio, for example? Is it just breaking them down individually? Like,
Yeah, I always try and encourage people, like, if you want to do property, I think do it fast and like the most money that's made in property is capital appreciation over a long period of time. Like, we're not getting rich quick on property. We're setting up for legacy, for generational wealth here. Some say, what's the point in, taking 20, 25 years to grow a portfolio? Do it in 3 years. Like, and I always go with, if you can get your sub 40 properties and go under the ADS, because why fucking not?
aye,
Then on these little 40 grand flats, the if you work out your numbers, practice your appraisals, negotiation skills, going through conveyance and raising your finance, your short-term finance, doing your refurb to your long-term finance, all these processes that you'll learn along the way will help you mitigate the mistakes. Oh shit, I understood that, but I never really get it. You're almost kind of learning your craft. And as I say, like if you do 4 or 5, then most lenders look at someone with a portfolio of 4 or more properties and say you're an experienced landlord, and they'll lend portfolio money to you.
Yeah.
So I always say just get your handful of properties, then look for portfolios. But as you're starting, you're building up your network. You're getting your solicitor, you're getting your broker, you're getting your networks, you're meeting people. So you're actually then speaking to everyone and putting yourself out there on social media, attracting these opportunities. So while you're spending this first year or 2 getting your handful of properties, you're starting to attract portfolios quite quickly as well. And then breaking down the numbers, you're just multiplying it on a I still do it on an aggregate value as well by breaking them down individually. I think with portfolios as well, people like get confused because they always think that, oh, I'm buying 10 properties. Well, I really can't afford to buy 10 properties because I might end up leaving 50 grand in them. But who says you need to keep 10 properties? Like you can buy 10 and sell 5. You can buy 10 and sell 3.
Buy 10, get rid of the ADS, then sell
whatever
4 or 5.
Whatever money it suits for you to say, well, I don't want to leave any money in the portfolio. Okay, sell them off until you leave no money and then go, okay, I'm left with 4. Brilliant. That's your criteria. Run with it. But I think
that was a big one you done with the Aberdeen, right? Was it 39 in Aberdeen?
39, aye, and then we ended up selling off 6.
I remember you doing this.
Well, it was 39 on my 39th birthday. And we lost out on one. It was weird the way it fucking worked because the guy was selling 40 and I was been negotiating it for probably 2 years. And then the boy had sold one. He says, look, is it all right? We just adjust this. And 39, it's fine. And then the solicitors come back and forward and going, right, we're looking for a completion date. And I said to Sam, I was like, my birthday's next week, by the way, Thursday. It's like, I'm 39. It's like, go and say Thursday. And he's like, why? It's like, Thursday, 39 properties on the 39th birthday. I was like, that's quite a cool fucking thing, eh?
He's your tagline.
Aye. But it was interesting because when you look at the deals of, a few years ago buying a single unit or a smaller portfolio, it's just an extra 0. But you were adding an instant equity, extra equity getting into the portfolio, £1 million by that discount. And we sold off 6, I think, in total. Off them, make sure that that paid all the fees and brokers and bridging loans and stuff. But
so was that purpose? Basically, you had so much left in, but if you sold these particular 6, that just wipes it away, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure it was something like the 6 made 11 grand profit, like a small profit on the 6 we sold. So that basically covered all the fees. Like, we'll just sell these ones off.
Ideal.
Retain the rest of them.
That's a class rate. And how I take it you just because you were working on that for 2 years, you just contacted him through social or something, did you?
The guy came out to me originally. How did he come out originally? I think it was through a letting agent contact originally. Then came to another letting agent contact. Then one of my friends that's got a stove company in St Andrews, all places, says, this guy's just contacted me for 40 properties in Aberdeen, and I'll a lot of the time I'll get rid of the shit because a lot of people say, oh, I want to sell my portfolio, and they're like, I'm wanting market value, and I'm like, I'm not getting market value for it. Or you're trying to haggle back and forward, and this old guy was like, you're in the Aberdeen market for a start, and the old guy was like, I think the first time he reached out was like, nah, I'm not going below 10%. And I was like, man, I can get 25% just looking at the market in Aberdeen. Like it's just there's no motivation for me to do that. And then when he came back to, I think it was a second line agent, he says 15%. He'd go to 15, and then he came through my friend from school that's got the stove company, and then my friend says, like, I'll buy 20, you buy 20. And I says, look, it's the same guy, David. He says, he's a customer of mine. I was like, he was at 15%. I says, if it's not going below that, there's not a conversation. He might go to 20. And I'm like, right, we're
starting to move in the right direction here.
But you're like, I'm just getting to know him each time. Like, what is your name? Where are you from? Fucking 74. Well, you're not getting any younger. You're 75. Now you're 76.
Aye.
Your kids are not interested in property. You need to start mitigating this inheritance you're away to leave. You want to live your life a little bit stress-free. Because he did all the maintenance as well. And as much as he managed it with another agent, he did the maintenance, but he was really particularly with the maintenance. And he had quite a cool story. Like, he used to work for Shell, and when he bought the portfolio, he retired for the oil and gas industry very early, and to give him a job, basically just maintain the properties. So he was, for 20 years, he just maintained the properties and fucking tat them up, paint them up, and they were all very well maintained. But when he came back again, I came back for the last time on a Portfolio. Chris and Ross market, and I says to Chris phone, I says, mate, I've speak to this guy I know the stock. I said, I can give you an instant offer. I know if the numbers are there, and then offered in it. And I think Chris was like, look, we know you're a serious buyer. We'll try and work with you to get this to the right price. So he got over the line for us.
2 years of negotiating. How's you're talking about like
get
40,
quick
40.
rich, eh?
How is you're talking about the kind of 40k ones, and obviously try to look at more quality assets now. So would you say the way you evaluate properties now is different to how when you first started? So it's more of a case of cash flow with the 40k ones, and then now looking at more quality?
Yeah, I absolutely. Like, I bought in 2015 or 16, I bought 2 flats in Dyser, which is just on the outskirts of Kirkcaldy. Sub 40 grand flats. I think ADS at 3% just came in, and I looked at the numbers. It was all money out, so I'm just thinking the spreadsheet says it's all money out. I'm fucking buying them, man, up to the assets, rather than actually thinking about, do I really want these assets? Like, it's a shitty location.
Aye.
I'm going to get crap tenants. I'm going to, like, so the same, I think it was within a few months, I bought my mum and dad's old house because my dad had moved to Dubai. He was in Abu Dhabi. Him and mum had split up, and he had rented it for a few years and got a bit really motivated from it. And I bought the 5-bed detached house in the countryside at the same time, and managed to kind of creatively finance that. And I remember them going in the portfolio at the same time, within months apart each other. And I sold them very much the same time. And I was trying to say that to the people on a TIW call a couple of years ago, was think of the assets you're getting rather than, okay, we're all about the money, it's the numbers, and it's as an investor you want the numbers to make up. But at the end of the day, if you're holding that asset for long term, think about what is it going to go up in value? Is it a good area for development?
Yeah.
Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it, who's the tenant demographics? Are you going to manage it? Are they going to damage it? All that kind of stuff. You look at these properties. I sold one of the 2-bed flats so I got them valued at 80 grand, 75% loan to value mortgage. I've got 60 grand on them. Money back at both the flats at the same time. One of them sold at 82, and one of them I sold at 68. So pretty much no capital appreciation over that, what was that, 7-8 year period?
No.
Yep.
Whereas the other 5-bed detached house, it was a 142 purchase, and I done a wee refurb on it to sell it and sold it for 305. So you're looking at it and going, that went up fucking shitloads in value over that 7 or 8
Same
years,
period.
whereas those flats never. And that's where you make the money in property, was that long term. It depends on your debt strategy. A lot of people now just do it on cash flow. I don't like doing it on cash flow. I like doing it on it needs the cash flow to make the business work, but there's other factors in there I like to appraise them. One of them I looked at in Aberdeen. It was on the west end of Aberdeen, and it was on Forest Road, and it was, you know Aberdeen quite well, don't you, Stephen? It was on the entrance to Rubislaw Den South. So Rubislaw Den South is like fucking, it's like Billionaires Row, isn't it? Like was it Ian Woods, the owner of Woods Group, lives there, and
That's right.
you drive up there and it's like fucking proper wealthy
site,
bit.
aye.
So when I seen the flat that'd been on a converted detached block into 3 flats, the top floor flat, this is a quality asset. I remember saying this to Sam. He says, I want to add this to the portfolio. And he says, right. And he's just assuming the numbers stack up for all money out. And I'm like, nah, I don't think it does, mate. And he's like, why? I says, because if our daughters ever go to Aberdeen University, they're fucking going to this, they're living in this flat. This is a class West End flat. There you go. And it was just, there was a whole different spin in that. I was trying to make the numbers work. Yeah, I was trying to make it work for all money out, which it did, plus 5 grand. But there was a little bit of bringing the emotion to property, which I always say not to do.
Yeah.
It's like, my daughter can live and go to the university there.
But capital appreciation will go up in that more
Yes,
than any other one. That's nice.
That's
a logical mind behind it. That emotion of if your daughter does go there, like you say,
Yeah.
like you're going to a nice place, not a wee shitty, junkies flat. In
Well,
Aberdeen.
I've got one in Urquhart Road where the tenant murdered his girlfriend and then went out and slit his throat in the communal area. Now that's near next to the university in Aberdeen, so she can go into that street, or she can go up to the west end of Aberdeen. I know which one I'd prefer her being in.
So, brilliant.
And do you struggle to, like if you're, I take it, do you source everything for yourself? Do you buy everything? Do you ever outsource it out to other
Yeah, we've got
investors?
a sourcing part of the business as well. Like, I think it's silly not to when you're building your own portfolio, to have your own wee database and have your own little sourcing bit, because you need to monetize these deals. Like, if you're going to buy, I don't know, 5 or 6 properties in a year, you're not going to just view 5 or 6 properties. You're going to view 50. So these ones that aren't suitable, the leads that come to you off market, like, it's nice to have, like, I know you're looking for this or that other thing. And so I didn't really take sourcing very seriously until COVID. And I remember, I don't know if I should really say this, fucking, remember the market like shutting down, and I did what everybody else does for a couple of weeks, and I sat and painted the fence and done the fucking DIY that we all put off, and I'm like, nah, like, no, I'm not fucking
enough.
sitting in this house, like, enough's enough. And obviously we're all told to stay in the house. And I'm like, nah. I just actually started the company with Sam, and we had stuff going through. We had investors' money sitting there, like not doing anything. I was like, I need to find deals. So I went to all the, so started things in the box, right? There's estate agents are all closed down, surveyors are all closed down, like no one can put anything through the land register. I'm like solicitors are all shut. I'm like, well, I didn't think they opened to the 29th of June. Like, who's open? Construction industry was opened. It was deemed to be, what was it, an essential service or something like that. Aye, so they were all, the building sites were all open. So the new build sites were open, but a lot of the new build sites were taking part exchange for properties. So they couldn't sell.
All right.
So I'm like, right, let's go to all the part exchange. So I went to Stuart Mill's part exchange, Kirkwood's, Caller's, fucking them all on LinkedIn. He's all off, he's all furloughed. Like, we're furloughed, we're in the house. How many properties you got in the book to sell? Well, we've got 28. Lend me the keys, I'll go and appraise them. So I was going up every single day to Aberdeen, the surrounding areas, going outside their own house, they believe me a bag of keys that was disinfectant and all that shit, and their own individual bags and whatever. I'm not giving a fuck. I'm putting them on Instagram, going, viewing this one, viewing this one, viewing this one, and everybody's going, how the fuck are you viewing properties? Like, everybody's shut down. So I ended up lining up, I lined up portfolios for Sam and I to buy individual units, and it was something like 18 individual deals that went through. So by the time the end of March and shutdown and the 29th of June and the opening back up, there was something like 18 single deals plus the portfolio purchases going through. And everyone's like, how are you getting properties? And I'm like, oh, there's an opportunity everywhere in it.
You're sitting having barbecues and you're at viewings.
That's awesome. I was sitting on the beach. I was in Dubai during
you were
COVID.
enjoying it. I think
I'm going to brunches.
That gave me the idea that sourcing was more of a business, though, because I think I used to quite dismiss it and almost like, Sean, do you want this one? Aye, no bother, mate. Like, do me a favour next time. Like, give me a lead for a good joiner that you've kind of just. It was almost like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and I wouldn't really monetize it. But when I saw the opportunity inside sourcing, inside COVID to monetize it, I thought, well, there's an opportunity.
That's
there.
a good angle, actually, because other people are just like sitting back feeling sorry for themselves, going, we're done.
The world's in a fucking pause for the first time ever, and I think we had this like I scaled in that year. Scaled. Like, I'm not fucking sitting down. Like, if everyone wants to sit down and be sheep and do as they're told, then that's fine. I wasn't doing it irresponsibly. My wife's got a lung condition that could have affected her. Like, my gran's like got health conditions, stuff like that. So it wasn't like I was going fucking willy-nilly, but I'm like, I'm using it from a sensible approach. Like, if my wife who I'm living with has got an issue with a lung, I don't want to bring this back in or whatever, but you weren't getting that option. It was just like, everybody's locked down, everybody's shut down, everything's shut, the world's on pause. And I was like, nah, I don't. I've probably got an issue with authority, hence why I'm self-employed or an entrepreneur. But it was like, no, fuck you. You tell me that, I'm going to find a way to do it.
Of it.
Aye.
Good. See with your portfolios again, like,
I'm going to get heat for that. Everybody's dying in COVID, and you're fucking making money and going to portfolio.
No, but I think that's brilliant, by the way. I think that a lot of people were like, right, I'm going to get money off the government. I'm going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to do nothing. I mean,
I took a bounce back loan and bought loads of properties as well and paid it back off in time. But it's opportunities there. It was there. It was free money. Sit at home. I mean, if you were employed, you were all right. You can get furloughed and you can fucking enjoy it. But the minute people that started in property during 2020, like you'll know, and we'll all speak to in your podcast as well, that they started because there was an opportunity that you had a slower pace of life. You were told to sit in the house, and what you're doing, you're on YouTube, you're on watching videos, listening to podcasts. Oh, properties and that.
But that's probably the meaning of the word entrepreneur, if you think about it. This entrepreneur is like looking at something, looking at an angle, working out what you can do and gaining from it. That's what that is.
I had just started looking at property during COVID because I was employed at the time and I was the one doing the fucking shitty quizzes with your family and all that. And I just remember that's when I started doing it. I think it was on one of your first
Zoom calls
and all that as well. I mean, that's when I was just coming up to December or just after, I can't remember exactly when. After I first started to get on it, and there's all these different people that you still see now.
Yeah.
And they're talking about things like sourcing and everything else. I'm like, all right, you can actually do this, and that's what I started really ramping up. So
getting pissed and sitting on a Zoom call.
If I'd known about it prior to COVID, I could have maybe implemented it, but I didn't really kick on. Because we're sitting about, I wouldn't say bored, but you're sitting about going, right, what can you do? Like, this is fucking shit. How can you make money and stuff like that? And then you go through that rabbit hole, and that's when you find the Zoom calls and everything else. Like, somebody sent me the link. And have you seen this? Because I knew I was looking at property and trying to educate myself on it. I was like, I've not seen it. It's like, free Zoom call? Fuck it, may as well go on it. What else am I going to do? I'll sit in my bottle of wine, just sit on it and do it.
I was on garden leave in Microsoft, sitting on the beach.
Fuck you.
Damn fuck all.
Nah, I know where I'd rather be. I did try and go and visit my dad in Abu Dhabi, but he was saying, no, it's strict out here. Like, is it fuck?
So you're this is a similar question I wanted to kind of know from me, because you've got a very, you love doing the school runs and everything else, and that was a big part of something you wanted to do. And likewise for myself, I do the school runs, and you've got that small
Window.
5-6 hour window to do work, but you're so busy with everything else going on. You know, you're still into like doing your fitness and your martial arts and everything else. Like, how do you structure a day, a week? Like, where do you find the time to do all this? Like, how does your typical week look?
It's kind of just trying to have these habits and these disciplines in place. I know that if I don't get up and go to the gym first thing in the morning, like you're 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's not getting done because life's going to get in the way. She's had a Halloween disco last night. She's got, you know, swimming training the night. Like, there's always something that's going to take priority now. So I get in that time in where I'm like, right, okay, fitness is important to me. It's one of these priorities. Get it done quickly. Get her ready to get to school. And then, like you say, you're trying to almost cram the day, but I'm quite shit at getting back to people, and I'm quite shit if I've been like time wasting. Like, if somebody, like a member of staff's asking me questions, like I'm probably getting the crab at one in office, but it's not because I'm crab, it's because I hate like unproductivity. Like, you're being unproductive here. We're asking questions, you get me to do something. Like, I've only got this fucking window, like you say, this window of really productive time, 5-6 hours before I need to go and do the school run again. I will catch up with shit, and you'll answer your email and your WhatsApps at night time or whatever, but I just try to look like that just to make sure that you're factoring in those things that are most important. But it's difficult because even when you're picking up the kids and taking them to school, you're still, the phone still goes off. You're still looking at what's there, looking at that email. I still need to get back to that solicitor about that, and you do slip. But I think it's like, Nick and I have had this conversation before in the podcast, and it's almost like trying to put it on my schedule, which is almost be selfish and go, well, it's my schedule. I've got this bit of time, I can do it. If I not go back to somebody's email, and obviously it'll affect me a lot of time because I'm like, oh, why is that solicitor taking ages to get back? Oh, because I've not replied back to them for 3 days because I've been busy. So it does affect it sometimes, but also it's like you need to do that works for you. You're jumping to somebody else's requests all the time. You're just going to be doing on their time or on their schedule, their demand. So it's trying to be that strict of, which is quite hard actually.
I had like a course, and this is weird, and I was using like Motion AI is like an app for that kind of organises time. But at the beginning, you've got like Calendly, and you're going, these are all my times, and the guy's like, you need to break half of them, remove half of them. He says for 2 reasons. One, because you'll be using that time for something else, and secondly, when people notice that you've only got 3 times available, they'll jump on one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, Jesus, man. And I thought, no, will they not just no take it? And he goes, no. And it was the opposite effect. It does work.
That's quite interesting.
Cause I do like a massively try to get back fucking in a decent weight, and I'm like, oh, I'll go to the gym, and then it's like, oh well, if I got paid at the gym, I then need to come back. My mindset is I need to go half an hour at the gym, do that, but I also need to come half an hour back to then go to the school run. I'm like, oh fuck, I'll go to the gym after the school run. But then you're like fucking
eating your day
10:30, 11 before you start your day. You're like, oh, and then I've only got 3 hours to go. I'm like, I'm doing this all wrong. Do you know what I mean? But
I do find that doing the jiu-jitsu first thing on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock and teaching that class and being responsible to people to actually show up, because you're always you'll show up for people more than you'll show up for yourself. Do you know what I mean? If you make a promise to someone, if I make a promise to you, like, I'm coming at the podcast, I will be here.
Yeah.
Come hell and fucking high wind, I'm going to be here. If I said to myself, I'm going to go to the gym at 11:15. I need to.
I know, 11:15, you're like, I'll just do this, and then next thing it's 10 past, and you're like, oh, I've missed it.
You're like, fuck.
I met with Gillian McCluskey in Monday there for a coffee. We're having that same conversation. She's like, oh, I go to the gym with the like 2 friends, and she's like, if they want to go, and I'm going to go. The fact I need to get up for them and show up for them is different, but you know, if you're lying in your bed going, it's darker now, isn't it? Or it's cold out there, isn't it? But then if you're, like say, short for somebody else, you've actually got that there. So you need to come to the gym with me. I need to show up for you now.
It's hard to do though, because if you do get somebody to partner with and then all of a sudden they stop going, then you're like, fuck.
See that? What's that book? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's her name again? Let It Go.
Mel Robbins.
That's the book. Because in your brain, that's only in the morning, because in your brain you go, you have to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and when it gets to 1, you get up. Right. So you don't let your brain think about anything else but the numbers.
No, I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, snooze.
A lot of time I go to the gym in the morning, right, and it's stupid time, 6:30, and I can't even remember driving there. I'll get there, I'll be dressed, because all my clothes are all lying out. See if I put my shirt on inside out, lying out.
That's a sheer age.
I'm wearing it to the gym like that, because I'm not thinking, I'm getting dressed in the dark, I'm driving, Next thing you know, I'm warming up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't actually remember fucking driving here.
That's weird, eh?
A lot.
I think
It might be all days right now.
Aye, definitely your old age.
I think
mate.
getting in that habit in morning, like especially if you've got a cram day, it certainly helps. I had this debate probably during the coming out of COVID period with a couple of guys that were in like the mastermind group that were getting mentored, and like a few of them are really into fitness. And I remember saying like, I think we're all like, you'd always share the books you're reading and stuff. And I think it was either 50 Cent's book or Kevin Hart's book, and both of them were on about how fitness is the pinnacle of everything, and it's what they are, what they eat, and all that shit. Like they've got a chef that fucking prepares a mood for every meal for them. They've got a PT that takes them to the gym in the morning. Like you'd have to snooze the alarm, the PT's fucking there. So like I was like, okay. And the guys that were in the group that were like, oh no, yep, definitely. If you are like in peak physical health and condition, then you can perform all this kind of stuff. And I remember like the amount of stuff I had on during like the crazy acquisition of the portfolio growth coming out of COVID. It was like I'd be going up to Aberdeen at 5:30 in the morning. I'm stopping at McDonald's for my breakfast on the way going up. There was into maybe one of the other lockdowns, and it was like, what's open? The Chinese flipping buffet that's only open in Aberdeen. You'd go there for the Chinese buffet, then you'd go and stop at the Chippy for 5 o'clock for tea. You'd go back to a refurb, you'd go and touch some of the builders, you'd go and view some properties, then you'd have a couple of meetings, then you'd be hitting and then I remember going back to McDonald's at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, going back down the road, and I remember putting the video up onto the group saying, I agree with what you're saying about like the healthy eating and healthy living, but I think your mindset's the biggest thing. If your mind's so fucking focused and you're hungry and you're passionate and you're driven by a purpose. I mean, I'm just saying I'm 18 hours on the go again, and all of it is absolute shit, but I'm still buzzing because I had this really good meeting with an investor. I view this portfolio of that project's moving on, this is happening, and everything's moving on, and I'm buzzing, that's happy. But on the caveat, I did say that this is going to catch up with me at some point. Like I'm going to have to fucking undo this because my health is going to suffer. And it did. I put on weight coming out of COVID, and but it's when people say that as well about balance. I don't believe in balance. Like I'm trying to find this what success and what happy balanced life looks like now, but I don't believe in balance. If you want to achieve anything in life that is phenomenal fitness, phenomenal financial freedom, or a business or grow a business, you're going to have to put in huge amounts of sacrifice into that, and other parts of your life are going to sacrifice. And at the time, that few year period, like it was my health and fitness that sacrificed. So to then go on to that again and then try and get that little balance where I am going to the gym in the morning and that's now a priority.
Yeah.
It does take time, but if you're going, no, but I need to get the business to where I need to go to, then that's going to sacrifice. Like I think we've all got those maybe 10 units energy every day. Yeah. And if you say, right, okay, I've got 3 for the family and my relationships, and I've got 5 or 6 for business, and what else is like left for you? If all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've got a portfolio, I need to go and get this acquisition over the line and raise the finance, I can't do 5 or 6 in business, I need to do 8 or 9. Means my family only get me 1. Well, there's no time for gym or friends or anything else. Like you're letting that go, and there's a lot of sacrifice in that. But I think depending on where your balance is for the gym, it's.
I got this mad ring, right? So one of these mad health rings, and they're good. But the problem is, it now tells you your best time of the day.
What is it? It's not even in the morning then for you.
It fucking kills me, man, by the way, because I'm like, do you know what I mean? I swear to God, I'm like that. Right, 3 o'clock to 5, by the way, is mine, right? And it's like that.
Afternoon?
Mm-hmm. 3 till 5, that's my peak. So I'm like, right. And I'm organising things around that time.
Right.
Because I'm like, right, I fucking need to be doing these 15 things. And then maybe if the missus is like, do you want something to eat? And I'll be a crabbit bastard as well. I'm like, I'm not eating between 3 and 5.
And I hate to get shit done.
I'm like, how can I eat then? I'm like, I'm doing this. So don't get the ring.
Aye. So what does the ring tell you? Like your energy levels,
It tells you your age, health age.
Moved.
Right? I'm telling you, it's like in my head, I've got to be under it all the time.
And then I'm looking good for 92, mate. It's all right.
Thanks very much. But it is good. No, it's good on something. It'll tell you everything. It'll tell you heart. It tells you your resting heart. It'll tell you what you should be eating, when you're exercising, what you're not doing, and all this kind of thing.
This is important though. Like it's stuff that people don't talk about, going into business and into property and growing. And the sacrifice is you don't think about your health, but if you don't have your health, you've not really got nothing at the end of the day. So it is important to track it, I think.
That's what I was talking about. I didn't mention like 2 months ago, I was like a wee bit stressful when I went to the doctor, and I was like, my high blood pressure might be a wee bit high, and he's like, 170. I was like, I don't know, is that good or bad? And he's like, well, 130 is a bit high. I was like, what does that mean then? He's like, well, we need to get you this, we need to change this, or you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, all right, what tablets do I need to take? I'm not going to fucking hospital.
I was looking
I
at
took
it.
the tablets, by the way, and I'm fine now.
I was looking at it from a. So I'm 34, and I was looking at it going, right, there's no point in you trying to do all this, build up your life and everything else. You get to the point where the girls and whatever, and Leon, my back was hurting me the other week there. I was like, what's the point in doing all this if you're not looking after yourself? Because, yeah, you want to see him run about, but if you can't chase him out of the garden and play with him, stuff like your back's knackered, you're not looking after yourself, kind of run the length of yourself. Well, what is the actual point? I know it's that cliche, wanky statement of fucking health is wealth, but it kind of is. Do you know what I mean? There's no point doing all that with it, and you can't enjoy the time you've got with the people you want to enjoy it with.
My brother's got that now. He's only 39 and he's going to have to go through back surgery from next month. And his business is he's teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, exactly. And he was a joiner before, and he has got a couple of assets that kind of pay for it, and the business works out all right, and he's got people that help him out, but it's like, mate, you need to get, like, he was telling me about the surgery as well, because it's on his discs, they can't go in through the back, so I had the spinal cord, so it's going in through the front and removing the intestines and fucking stomach, and then going into the operate, then putting it all back in together, and I'm like, this is major surgery, and I'm like, so I think it's gave us that conversation recently of, we're making part of the routine to catch up as we go to the sauna and steam room, and we have a workout, get in there, sauna, steam room, chill out, relax, shoot the shit, chat, your stress releasing and injury recovery and a bit of heat therapy and all that kind of stuff. So it's I think as you get older, or I always thought it was when I was hitting 40, it was like, fuck man, I can't be in bad shape, because I think that's setting the tone of where you're going for the rest of your life. You're either going like that, overweight, middle-aged, and just continuing that, or you're in shape, you look after yourself, and you're going to go that same trend.
I think I'm paranoid as fuck. I mean, I found out about 3 months ago I had ADHD, right? Which, to be honest, I told
everyone knew that who spoke to you, man. I
told my mates, and he was like that. Do you know what he said to me? He goes, I'm a GP. I says, how? He says, did a GP tell you that? He goes, aye. He says, I could have fucking told you that. I was like, is there any other smart arses here? Yourself included.
Screaming at you, mate.
We almost have a bit of that. Eh?
But I took these mushroom things and they're brilliant. Mushroom jellies are brilliant.
This is the bit that's getting on edited.
So I was going to say, like, also you've had such a trajectory. It's always been like that. There would have been times it's kind of been up and down and stuff like that. Like, is there anything you look back on with like one of your biggest setbacks and you went, fuck, and maybe stood point to the kind of realising and how you kind of grown or learn from that?
I think they always do. I think they probably come weekly, but you don't really notice it. I think you start to grow a bit of thick skin for resilience. One of the girls at the workshop, she did a wee talk from me, the podcast event, and I took. It's quite interesting when you hear somebody else's opinion of it, of like something like, because I knew the project, I was involved in the project as a JV partner, and I saw the struggles, and then the stuff that she struggled with. She was like, when I first dealt with that problem, that was a level 9, level 10 problem, and then Stephen would talk me through it, and like just do that. Now when I see that problem come up, it's a level 2 or 3, if that. It doesn't no longer stress you. So I think we probably go through that all the time, where you fucking think, fuck, this is a world-ending problem. The bats.
Aye.
But as soon as you deal, you're like, well, it isn't really the issue. You wait till fucking August. You factor in like an extra few months it costs to hold in the property. Like, it's not the end of the world. But there was points, I think it's been like business partners as well. That's gave me growth, but also probably gave me the biggest
grief,
downs and grief, because you need to learn to work with people, and it's probably something I'm not great at. The first business partner I had, we had very much complementing skills to each other. They had the same skills,
right?
So we basically had the same skills and probably the same weaknesses. So we knew that it was probably obvious looking back, like that was only going to go so far.
Nah, there's not much growth in it, is there?
Nah,
if you look at you and Sam, maybe he's more like spreadsheet guy, and you're like, no. Like,
he hates that. He'll fucking hate that. He will hate that. But yeah, you're right though. It is. It's just trying to look at the different balances, the different people you work with, and I think one of the biggest things for me probably was one about the back against the wall. When I first left the oil and gas industry, I sold a property in the portfolio, my personal name, that was a bit of a shit one. I had a hook and hooker and somebody doing a grow, and I was like, I need to get rid of this one.
You were a pimp? What?
And then I got a redundancy package for the oil and gas job, and I remember looking at the bank, and I mean, I'm saying every property I've ever managed to grow and build the portfolio, it's done with none of my own money. And for the first time ever in my life, they were sitting with 102 grand in the bank, and everyone thinks that's mental, that the biggest hardship was having money in the bank. But for the first year, I wasn't hustling. that first year of leaving the oil and gas industry, we bought a bigger house, got a company car to try and like level up the business, and got rid of the van for doing the refurbs. And I was like, right, here's growth. And and I never really paid attention to the bottom line, because I was like, there's money in the bank, the bills are paid.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Like, you weren't worried about month to month, you weren't worried about the assets, you were just, let's fucking go. And you weren't really paying attention to the money. You weren't doing it like a proper businessman. And I look back at it and I'm like, because I knew there was money in the bank. I should have spent it there and then. I should have went and bought a fucking stupid car, or went and just bought $100,000 property and got an income from it. I just spent it. I goes, I have no money, hustle.
I need to go for it now.
Let's go. But it was like this comfort zone behind you going,
You were complacent,
money in the
sitting
bank.
in we're
Like
fine.
I said to Kelly when I first quit, like I said, look, we're going to get a bigger mortgage, and like, why? Panicking. I'm leaving my oil and gas job, and she's got a fucking, I was only 2 months old at the time, 3 months old, like she's panicking. And I just gave her like, I think it was maybe like $25,000, and said, right, there's our bills for like a year and a half covered. Didn't bother me, leave me alone, let me get on with this kind of thing. Like, so I'm like, well, she's fucking taking care of, the bills are taken care of, there's money in the bank, we can still live the same lifestyle, we're still going on holidays, still got the car, like there's nothing changed. But I replaced a $75,000 a year income offshore to nothing, really, some portfolio income. And, like, you know what I mean? It's like, but you never pay attention to it. It's like, there's money in the bank, it's cool. So I think that was maybe the biggest lesson learned. And I always say to people now when they do the workshop, like, yeah, go and get your $40,000 flat, and you've got your 30, 40 grand money, 50 grand deposit sitting there, or you've got your money sitting there in a cash pot. But the first one, don't use it. Just go and raise somebody else's money for the first one. And if you come to a week before the completion and you're like, I've not found anybody else's money, well, you use your money. But use somebody else's. And then when you do it and they find it, they go, I've just got somebody else's. Well, guess what? You still got your 50 grand in the bank, go and find another one. And then do that process till you go, fuck, I'm out of money. Right now, when you've got a few properties and you can start refinancing them and you get them back out. And but I think that get back against the wall raising finance is a skill set you need to learn and develop. And I never did it to start with.
I think is that something you do on the course, like the foundational stuff, the numbers, the evaluation, raising finance, how to talk to investors and all that as well?
Aye. It's all the key.
Ego tips.
I shouldn't be saying this because looking after the money, and Sam might not like this, but that kind of stuff, you're like YouTube and stuff like that, but it's hard to be learning how to talk to people and do that. I think that's harder than sitting looking at books.
I've had this conversation. Sam stopped talking about it now because he knows my opinion on it. But like, we've got a couple of members of staff who, when they first came into the company, it was like, oh, she's got a 2-1 degree, and it was like, held this degree is such a high importance. So I'm like, means fuck all. I'm not just. Even we're just recruiting now for another member of staff, and I'm just want to see their videos. I'm not even looking at their CVs. I don't look at anybody's CV. Send me the videos of what they're doing. Send me the videos. Let me look at them. What do they do? What do they do as a hobby? What ticks them? What motivates them? I want to know who they are as a person. I'm not just in a fucking degree. You can sit and you can pass a university. And I had this conversation with my daughter recently as well, because she's been diagnosed with dyslexia and she's struggling a wee bit in school. She's only 9, and I didn't want her to feel like the dummy and not participate and not feel like she needs to do it. But I've took her to the Scottish Property Podcast networking events, and she stands up, she talks, and I said to her the last time, I said, I'll give you a tenner if you stand up and say, I'm Maya and I'm from This Is Property, and we help people scale up a property portfolio with very little money. And she's sitting there shitting herself, like sitting at 50 people in the room.
Oh, mate, I've been there.
And she goes, give me £20, like that.
You're like, brilliant.
Yes.
But father's daughter.
I was speaking to her and I said, look, this is the skill set I want you to develop. I want you to learn how to speak to people, have conversations, because it doesn't matter what degrees you've got. You can have 20 degrees under your belt. If we go into a room and somebody's got 20 degrees, I'm the one that's going to come out of the business, the joint venture, the opportunity, the money, because I know how to have a conversation with someone. I know how to speak to people. I know how to get the opportunities. Whereas someone with degrees going to go, well, I'm intelligent. I can do X, Y, and Z.
I can memorise stuff to do an exam to pass a degree, by the way. That's what it is.
Hey, I've got an honours degree. I'm smart.
Hang on, I got a degree as well. No fucking use.
No, I think you're right. Having that, like, you can have that book smart, and be very, very educated, and that's great. But if you don't know how to interact with people, talk to people, have a personality about you, you're not going to get on with them.
It's a level of common sense as well that I think book smart people or academic people, a lot of them don't have. Like, it's, I'm going to say it. He's probably going to go fucking mental when I say this, right? But I've put a flip on the market the day I went to Dubai, and I wanted to just get some traction on the market. When I came back, we'll see what it's like. And my brother sends me a screenshot Sam's put on Facebook, and I think it was the boys. So I asked them to do one job in the whole flip. I said, do me a favour, I've not got anybody for compliance that does woodworm, and find a tiny little bit of woodworm in the attic. So go and get the whole thing spray treated. Got it spray treated, and the guy's wife had wrote in the comment, looks great, Sam, or something like that. And Sam had replied back on the comment saying, yeah, brilliant. Chris was in and treated all the woodworm in the attic space like that. My brother screenshot that and wrote it, and I'm like, you're having a fucking laugh, eh? And I just thought at Sam, like, are you fucking being serious? Like, he's a smart, intelligent guy, but at what point of fucking common sense do you want to put that out on a public forum? We're trying to sell a property. You know what I mean? And like,
the attic's fucked. We got it fixed, but
I mean, and it wasn't, right?
I hope we got it.
And it was played it. But I'm like, why fucking put the bad point out there into the public for people to see when we're trying to sell something?
bit more street smart.
But it was that common sense thing, and I was like, fucking hell, like, he's going to go daft if he said that.
So I've got obviously the cost of your time as well, mate. But back for the school run and that.
Yeah, I can talk all day.
I've got a couple of rapid fire questions, but before that, we'll get into these shots, which I spilled on myself earlier on.
So we have to swap one of them
You got your wee one
because
down
What's
Matt
that?
has a
Well, we had to swap yours.
because Matt has a
Wake up
caffeine
shot.
problem.
Should have given me this before, mate.
I know. So it's a caffeine one. So we swapped it out. So we've got that's ginger and turmeric, which is brilliant. So
I
see-
get these because he doesn't like spicy food, and I just think it's funny to laugh at him.
Watch him squirm.
The ginger and turmeric one did the worst, by the way. Like,
Cheers.
these new ones. It's because that lid that's what spilt on me last time.
Cheers.
Oh, well, cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
you'll be.
Just the health shots.
Did you down that?
That's horrendous.
Oh, that's got to be kicking. Oh, cayenne pepper in it.
Oh wow, that's
Aye.
the worst one.
No, that's good with Kaya. Right.
Slag,
Right,
man.
now I'm ready to start.
Jesus.
You'll be running him.
That's the worst one we've done, by the way.
That's brilliant. I found a chilli one for us.
Oh, lovely.
I think a korma spicy, man. Anyway. So, fuck me. Aye.
It's not like you. to be
Composed
speechless,
mate.
by the way.
That's the worst one, by the way. So I rapid fire questions just to kind of wrap up. But so, worst decision you ever made in property?
Get started.
Leaving subsea.
Do you know what? I did get asked that question recently, and I did say that, like, that we do this the most unsmartest fucking way when you think of it. Like, we're trying to build a portfolio from scratch with no money, create equity, thin air, create wealth. This is fucking hard work. It takes the knowledge, the experience, and the skill set to try and do it. Why don't you make money in business or on a job and just fucking build a portfolio? Like,
Plus, you're trying to convince people to give you money that don't know you, and you get minimal experience. You're like, no, trust me with all your money, please.
Trust it.
And I actually just blacked out your whole answer. I'll listen back to it. But if you could summarise your core investing philosophy in one sentence, what would it be?
We love this chat GPT shite, don't we, by the way? This is
You're
like-
worse than Nick. Jesus.
How much money you got in your wallet right now, and how much your clothes, and what's your tax income, and tell me your people.
You didn't. You said you weren't asking any of that shit.
I know. I'm trying to be more like Nick.
Can I ask it a different way?
be
See if somebody thinks and talks about you that isn't Sam, because he's going to watch this and then he'll be like,
Dickhead.
that guy's a fucking get. What are they saying? Are they saying he's good at investing, he's good with people, he gives advice? What are they saying? No, even the people on your course. Anyone.
I'd prefer to walk away from something if it doesn't work for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't bother me about the money. And I think when people say that to me about the deal, I was saying it to someone like that's got this twisted mindset about how can you offer 40% below the market and somebody's winning, and I'll give countless stories of, I'm just there to help the person. I'm there to find a solution for the person. I'm there to genuinely, you've contacted me through a friend on Facebook or whatever, off market or wherever it's came from. What's your problem? And it's always a really, really fucking emotional problem.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you've had fucking people that's been touched by their uncle in the house that they're trying to sell. They don't want to go near it.
Aye.
Like, there's fucking, they want you to help them. So just having that conversation with someone, and I think that between that, anybody that comes through, like at the workshop, I just want to, like, I got excited because I was dying this week doing the fucking workshop, came in straight back and got a flu. And the only day I was buzzing was Thursday, and it was the day that we kind of talk about scaling up the portfolio, and I know there's a penny dropping moment with the way I teach it and the way I bring it to it, because it's a fucking go right through the whole process between, you know, finding deals on the market, off the market, appraising them, the numbers, the negotiations. And it's like you take it at this point, and we're working out renovation costs, how to project manage it, and it's fucking hell, this is a lot, and I just see this, there's a penny drop moment, and I'm fucking all buzzy and I'm all getting it because I'm like, I just want to explain it, and I just look across the room and I see the 21-year-old guy, the woman at the end, Samira's like, she wants to set this legacy up for her kids, and I know how much it means to her, and I just seen this penny dropping moment, and I'm like, That's fucking good.
What's the day?
I've changed her changed her perspective. I've helped her
Aye, that's
understand that. I like that. I think that's what people would probably say about me. Like try to help people.
Yeah, I like that. And we'll end with what's the question you always like to ask?
Tell me the question you're going to give the next person.
Our next guest, what do you want to ask them?
Make it hard.
We've already asked yours. It was what would you want to be when you were younger? So that was Matt.
Make it
that.
hard. Make it tight. Make it like.
Who's the guest?
Roger Boyd.
Roger.
I'll try and someone really good Roger. Do you know what I like? It might be a bit of a boring question, but I like the question, what does success look like to them? Because I think it means so much different things to different people. And I'm always interested in it, and I'll listen to hear that answer as well. Because it's just, what does it look like? And is that a monetary value?
So different.
It's just so varied.
Yeah.
It was the big reason why we started TIW Network. And we call it this as well, which we had to fucking change the name because it just kept getting stick all the time. You try and reply to a supplier to get a discount on a fucking venue in Edinburgh for a ball that's they're wanting 20 grand. You're going, can we get a discount? And you're like, your company name's called this as well. Like, we're not getting no discount. So it just kept causing issues.
You want
to be like that skint as fuck, right? That's what you want to be called.
But it was like, oh, then you got that perception of this is pretentious. But actually the whole reason was, well, we started asking around the room of people in the network, like, what does wealth look like to you? Oh, it's health right now to me. Oh, it's time freedom. It's picking the kids up from school. It's the ability to leave a legacy to my kids. And it meant all this stuff. And we're like, well, what are we going to call the network? This is wealth. And it came like that. But then obviously I was like 6 months a year in. We're like, we can't fucking call this is wealth. Like, and it's been TIW for about a year and a half. And everyone still keeps referring to it as this is wealth. I'm like, shh, don't say this is wealth. Don't say it loud.
And if people want to reach out to you for, course, joining the network, was it Pick Your Brain? I'm kidding.
Man, the pet hate one.
So if people want to go on your course, if people want to reach you to maybe talk about property or portfolios or this as well, TIW, sorry. I can do it myself.
So you didn't get the name of your own podcast, right?
Basically, we're best to contact you. We'll put it in the show notes.
Instagram's probably the best place, or come along to Scottish Property Podcast Network event. I'm usually at Edinburgh, Dundee. I try and bounce about them as well. Or come you can jump on thisisproperty.info for the information on the 2-day course. I thought that for years to do it. I wanted to try and be different. But when you look at what works and what everyone else kind of does in the funnels, and I'm like, it works. But what I like about that is, for £97, you get to spend 2 days with me fucking learning, and I'm going to try and, I'm not that fucking smart. I can't sit there and try and, I'm going to hold all this information, but if I'm going to try and tell you what I can in 2 days and give you the story and give you what's possible in property, it's not going to be the details to go, but it's enough where you can fucking go away and flip or build a portfolio. So you can come along and do that. And I usually do them in Glasgow or Dunfermline. I don't like Edinburgh. I like Glasgow.
To our Edinburgh viewers, we're sorry.
You'll maybe come there.
Try to do them in Edinburgh a few times and stuff.
Good. Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much for coming down and spending time with us, mate. It's been really good.
To chat.
And we'll catch up soon. Thanks.